Hey guys, and welcome to Really Seriously For Real. It's getting hot in here, but not like last episode, so let's discuss. And any of y'all ever had creme de menthe? Alright, let's go. So the honeymoon is over. We jumped right into the nitty-gritty with Jamie returning to his room, finding Claire shaken, knife in hand, and the intruder seemingly dead on the floor. Jamie slowly takes the knife away from Claire, and she explains that he attacked her. During the scuffle, the man tripped and hit his head hard on the floor. Suddenly, he begins to groan, and Claire's instinct as a doctor kicks into gear, and she makes the push to try to save his life. Jamie beckons her to let him die and asks, "Why would you want to save someone who tried to harm you?" And she basically said, "'Cause it's what I do." Her intent is to save him, and then Jamie can turn him into the authorities. Jamie then reminds Claire that clearly she doesn't remember a lot of the rules in this time, because if she's found in a brothel with a man who isn't her husband, the city guard would arrest her for assaulting him. Jamie finds out the guy is an excise man, and he figures that the man he had been bargaining with the day earlier, Sir Percival, may have found out Jamie expanded his smuggling route, cutting him out of some of the profit, and now is retaliating against Jamie. If he could catch Jamie and prove he was officially involved in smuggling, then he would look great in the eye of the crown and ultimately increase his position, or at least that's how I understood it. So Jamie enlists the help of his regular troupe of Fergus, young Ian, Mr. Willoughby, and two gentlemen, Leslie and Hayes, who Jamie previously assisted, and they begin rolling the casks of liquor out of the brothel, knowing the next step would be for Sir Percival to come and search, something Madame Jeanne was very nervous about. Claire heads out to town to get supplies for the surgery she needs to perform in order to save this man, and she heads out to the apothecary. So when Claire found herself needing to wait, delaying the care necessary to her attacker, okay, that just sounds crazy. Anyway, Claire pulled rank and told the man, "Listen, I'm a healer. If you let me go ahead of you, I'll come out to you and your ailing sister." And he says, "Free of charge, and you got a deal." Sold. Young Ian and Fergus are tasked with getting rid of the liquor, and they find a man to bargain with. Young Ian, in fact, very tactfully bargains with the man and sells their remaining barrels of cognac and whiskey, and even threw in 3 barrels of, you guessed it, creme de menthe. After their success, the boys pause as Ian asks Fergus what he remembers of Claire. Even though he was young, he says he does remember her well and acknowledges that she was an incredible healer, but also that he heard she may have taken lives as well. It must be pretty extraordinary for Ian, because he admires Jamie so much. And then Claire was basically immortalized through stories, and now here she is in the flesh. When Sir Percival does come to the brothel, he has another man with him, ready to do the dirty work of searching for anything that would be incriminating to Jamie. Since Jamie and company rolled those casks of liquor out of there and sold them, they had nothing to find except puddles of water. Back upstairs, Claire is hard at work trying to save the life of this man, drilling into his skull to relieve the pressure on his brain. The procedure is initially successful, but when Jamie comes back to the room, we learn that despite all their efforts, it didn't work, and the man died. This was difficult for Claire because back in her time, she's a successful surgeon, more used to saving lives than losing them. Jamie softly reminds her that she's not in Boston anymore, and her skills will be put to good use, and there are others to save. Claire apologizes for turning his life upside down, and Jamie says, "You came 1,000 miles and 200 years to find me. I'm grateful you're here no matter the cost. After a pause, Claire responds by saying she has a patient. I was expecting something else. But hey, she's a doctor. She gotta go. Jamie is initially put off by this and reminds Claire that she doesn't know who these people are. See, that's me. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know. Just saying. Jamie puts his hand on her and asks directly if she will return. She says, of course. You know, everything is just so fresh and new with the two of them. Each of them are just clinging on to each other, afraid of losing them again. So Claire visits Margaret and Archibald Campbell, and she learns that they're fortune tellers, mainly capitalizing on Margaret's, we'll say, visions. Though Archibald says that she can become incredibly wild with how she approaches people, often scaring them, so he tends to give her medicines that will calm her down. They're about to sail to the West Indies, so he wants to make sure that she could travel safely. Well, actually, so that way they don't miss that big payday. Claire explains that this is mainly a mental issue that can't necessarily be fixed, but there are better things to give her that would relax her versus just drugging her. Any chance we'll see them again? All right, Dr. Malcolm, your first official house call. Done. When Claire returns, Jamie informs her the dead man is currently being stored in a barrel of, say it with me, creme de menthe. Yuck. And they chat about next steps. Claire asks that they find a place for themselves somewhere in town. Jamie thinks that their current setup in the brothel is best. Free room, free board, and he can send money to Lollybrock. Claire is like, listen, this is not a good long-term solution. Claire also told him that she could open a practice in town out the back of the print shop. You can see a million things were going through his mind, but he doesn't answer, and instead a knock at the door interrupts. Madame Jean notifies Jamie that Ian, or Papa Murray, is there. While Claire is all excited, Jamie tells her, don't mention young Ian is there. Ugh. Lies everywhere. When they go downstairs, the actor who plays Ian had probably the best face on, the best reaction to seeing Claire, the look of shock, amazement, pain, heartache, and then joy. It was so well acted. He told her, Jenny and I thought you were dead. We mourned you. I swear I choked up when he said that, because you think about how much they were in the dark about Claire and Jamie, and rightfully, because look, time travel, it wouldn't make sense. All they knew was that Jamie was a lost soul, unwilling to talk about Claire, so they could only formulate their own assumptions. But Ian was there on a more pressing matter because he was looking for his son. And Jamie lied and said he didn't know where he was. And that hit a sour note with Claire, telling him how wrong lying to Ian was, and stating, get this, that he has no idea what it's like to be a worried parent. Ouch. That, of course, doesn't sit well, and he fires back about how he wasn't able to be a father to Brianna, and cites how she was allowed to wear a bikini. Listen, just saying, I knew Claire should have left that picture out. Claire and Jamie spar from each other's respective corners, each firing off rounds of words you can't take back. A far cry from their night of lovemaking and passion. Claire tells Jamie that Frank was a wonderful father. A fair acknowledgement, but a sting, nevertheless, to the real father, who then fires back by asking, well, then what was Frank to Claire? So while the fires were raging inside, Madame Jean interrupts, again, informing Jamie of the fire burning outside. You like that transition? Okay, let's rewind a bit. See, young Ian, after some encouragement earlier from Fergus, he flirts with a girl at the tavern and later brings her to the print shop to fool around and ultimately be his first time. During their play, The same man who accompanied Sir Percival earlier was now in the print shop rummaging around looking for hidden casks of liquor. When the girl is able to sneak away, Ian confronts the man and a minor fight ensues. Ian is pushed into the wall and voila, look at that. The treasonous pamphlets that Jamie said earlier in the episode would be impossible for anyone to find are indeed found. I know that there's minimal time in any show, any episode, but I always hate it when the one thing that is taught as the best hiding place, etc., is uncovered as soon as they start looking. It really bothers me. But in any case, they continue to fight, ultimately sparking a fire that left Ian trapped in the back, and the man got away along with stacks of the treasonous pamphlets. So Jamie races to the print shop as the firemen try to drown the fire. Knowing young Ian was likely in there, he sprints in and heroically saves him and his only picture of his son. Honestly, when you think back to it, to the fight that he and Claire had, it's kind of interesting how she had said that he doesn't know what it is to be a worried parent, but you don't need to be a parent to worry. I'm a parent. I worry all the time. It drives me crazy with how much I have to worry about him. So I just found that interesting when he immediately realized that Ian was probably in there and he risked everything to save him. Ian tells him what happened and it's explained that this is much worse than smuggling. Treason being a capital crime. While Sir Percival would make a lot of money, Jamie's life would be over. It's decided that they'll need to go back to Lollybrock. No one knows Alexander Malcolm is Jamie Fraser. So in a sidebar, Jamie gives Mr. Willoughby a cut of his money and tells him to lay low and asks Fergus to try to find the man and the pamphlets. It's at this point we finally officially hear what Claire doesn't yet know about Jamie. See, Jamie has another wife. Let's let that marinate a bit. Oh boy. I think I'm going to need some creme de menthe after this episode. If Claire never came back, would things have still gone so incredibly wrong for Jamie? Yeah, probably. Geez, it seems like just last week we were in the print shop and getting to know everybody, reminisce. Okay, it was last week, but still. The point is that it's gone. Seriously? For real? Alright, that's okay because we're on to new venues. So tell me, what did you think about this episode? Like the video with the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And welcome to all my new subscribers. Until next time, guys.